Hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Howie. Most of my YouTube friends know who I am. Well, recently I ended up in the hospital. Apparently, my illness I have has traveled up into my brain. So I had the opportunity to go to the hospital. And I live here in British Columbia. And I had an experience that I'm going to talk about. And this experience was cruel and unusual, but the only way that it'll stop is if people know about it. So I was ambulanced to the hospital, and when I was to arrive, I found myself in a situation that was cruel and unusual. And well, to start with, the treatment was atrocious to the point of madness. And the first day was reasonable. They stabilized my blood pressure and my high sugar level, and tried to get me into to have an MRI, but it didn't go so good in the MRI. It didn't go so good at all. So I had a bad reaction, claustrophobic. So they decide to take my room from me and put me in the hallway. Of course I objected. I said, I'm not going anywhere. So security was called. Several people from the executive came over and said I had to move. I said, I can't move right now. I'm having a flare-up. And a flare-up to me, on a scale of pain scale, is a 10 out of 10. So they decided to move me in the hallway and give my bed to someone else, because all the beds at VIHA, all the wards have been closed down. There's only one level, like on the 6th floor. So because I objected, I tried to leave. Well, that wasn't such a good idea. They brought security in and blocked my way leaving and that kind of thing, And in my room, there was this guy. And he was obviously suffered from a massive stroke. And he was eating his own the cup, the ice cream came in, and then he was eating his laxaday, and there was this nurse named Ravi. So I called out for her to come and take it away from him because he would fall down and smash his head and stuff, and really he wasn't looked after. So I was having a flare up, so they decided to move me anyway, so I tried to leave again. But this time they put my bed next to where all the soiled diapers and bedding is. So every time the door would open to put more garbage in from people, passing waste on their bed, it would just go, the smell would go all over me. And I can't even do scented products. So I thought, well, why am I down here by the garbage dump? Am I garbage? Interesting. So I asked the nurse, Maystar was her name. I know it's a strange name, but she was a lovely lady. And I said, can we move the bed? She went and asked, and she goes, no. So there's a whole hospital floor here. So I said, Maystar, can you at least change the bedding? She did. She was nice. So then I had to leave the bed, and when I come back, all the soiled blankets and sheets and everything was piled against my bed. I'm like, really? And I said, really, can we move that to the nurse, And it was not moved. It took 45 minutes to move it. But hey, got moved. But then it took the next day for my Dr. Kupsa to come by and move the entire bed. She had to move it. But because I complained, which is a no-no, of the conditions there, the conditions are atrocious. I was put where the garbage goes. And until Dr. Kupsa come by, a couple days later, was the bed ever moved. But then I noticed that my MRI wasn't coming day after day, day after day after day. And I found out yesterday, this is a week later, it was never even put in for. And because I had complained and tried to leave, and they called security, blocked my way out. I actually was a prisoner. There's nothing I could do. And every time you looked around, there was these mean ones, and then there was good ones. So the executive rushed into my room before I got out of there and demanded that I give up my bed. And I'm terminally ill, by the way. And I thought, a terminally ill patient has to give up his bed and go in the hallway and sleep with garbage around him. I thought, my God, what has this world come to? But it's not the world, it's the healthcare in Canada. That's what it is. And the people there, the patients, I ended up getting their phone numbers and stuff like that. And for austerity later. And It came down to if I stay there, my health would be impacted greatly. Or even if I would live. That's how bad it was. Yep. So I've now escaped from there and I'm back home. My doctor advised me. He's like, we have to get you out of there. I told him all the conditions and it was pretty nasty, I'll tell you. Some people were suffering bad there. What it is they've closed all the floors in the hospital. It's 7 floors. And put everybody on one floor. So you have dementia, stroke victims, accident victims, you name it, it's there. So they're all on one floor and they've closed all the rest because they don't have any workers. No workers at all to get the work done. So the place is a real mess. Ooh, look at that zucchini, hey? There you go, wild edibles. So that's a nice zucchini. Oh, I was roughed up pretty good by the security guards blocking me from leaving. I've got bruises and scrapes and cuts from them. I didn't fight back. I was in rough shape. Even though I have massive experience in fighting. In combat, but I did not enter into combat. But I was abused terribly. Worst abuse I've ever seen on others. And I'm making this video because I might not live too long. Nobody lives with IgG4 in their brain, and that's what's happened to me. But I just wanted to say hello and what had happened here. It's known as Island Health Services. I've decided to change the name to Island Death Cult. It's a little bit of irony. Yeah, there are some good people that work at that hospital, and there's other people that have no love. There's absolutely no love. There's no love at all. And they're abusing people. That's what's happening there. It's abuse. One nurse, she didn't like that I would be, trying to be proactive. So she came up to me with her fist, and she just looks at me with a fist in her. I was like, and you're a nurse? But not all nurses were like that, and not all doctors. No, sir, they certainly weren't. But I'll tell you, there's some good people in this world, 50% good and 50% really bad. And to the executive of VIHA, you have no love. You have no love for humanity. You have no love for your fellow earthling. And to put people in the positions you have done so, you are a disgrace to humanity. And that's to the executive at VIHA. To the good nurses at VIHA, you're angels. I see the stress that you're under. You come and told me that and thanked me for understanding. Because they've fired all these people that wouldn't take their medical advice for the V. They are short on workers. They import them from Ontario and Alberta and all these places, you know.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good to see you, Marshall. And by making this video, at least it's a record. Sure, YouTube may take it down. Okay. But I still have the chip and on disk and on data stick. And just find some love, VIHA and the executive. They're criminal. They should be arrested and prosecuted as such. They are criminals. Treating people like that, allowing them to hurt themselves or get hurt or be bedded down with the garbage and literally toxic waste. I mean, there was cordoned off areas where you had to have a mask on and gloves, but people weren't listening. There was people that were ill, and they were going from cordoned off areas to areas that were not, and touching everything, people that were mentally ill and stuff. And it didn't matter how much, they all knew anyway, and there's nothing folks can do about it because they're abused. If they are, they're just fired or whatever. They don't get called in, and people suffer. But here's some love. Here, a beautiful heart painted with beautiful flowers. And this is for all the hospital workers that have to put up with this nonsense in British Columbia and Canada from the executive and bureaucrats and government, losing our jobs, houses, families, and loved ones. You already know that you're cruel and unusual to the executive and to the people that have no idea what cruelty is. Go be an inpatient at a hospital in Victoria, British Columbia. Go be an inpatient and see the cruelty that man can do to man. And that's something to behold when you see it. It's amazing. So this is a bit of a video diary, and I'm going to put it up. But one thing to remember, be kind to your fellow man. And if someone tries to get you to do something that's not right towards your fellow man, please just say no and try to record it. Blessings to all my fellow earthlings. May you live long and prosper. I love you all. Peace and love always wins.